Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
I just kicked your dog that was under the table accidentally. I'm sorry about that, JJ.
Nah, he doesn't care.
He's like, whatever. How are you, Steve?
Good. How are you?
Not bad.
I'm doing well, actually. Let me just speak properly.
Doing well. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I was going to get you a birthday hat to wear today, but I ran out of time.
That's cool. You got me a birthday Egg McMuffin.
That's true.
The only thing I really, truly eat from McDonald's.
Yeah, I usually just, and I've been good. I haven't had breakfast there in a couple weeks. This morning I kind of got a hang. I'm like, and then, well, it's Steve's birthday, so we'll get an Egg McMuffin. And when I went through the drive-thru and got my food, someone I know that works here, but she's like, oh, I love your show. And I was like, aw.
Thank you.
We've got like 2 or 3 people that really care and like our show.
Yeah, there's a few.
Besides family, you know?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I mean, for anybody that sticks through an hour of you and I talking back and forth, if they watch the whole thing,
They're a special kind of person.
yeah, that means that they're interested in something, either the dynamic between us or your hot takes or my hot takes.
Something. Oh, you left your ringer on.
Always something with me.
It's all right. Beautiful day out there today.
It's very nice.
It's
Going to be warm too, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I think just about 80.
That's hot for
Yeah.
New England.
Well, wait until Friday. It's gonna be 97.
Make sure your cows don't just spontaneously fall over.
Then I found out that our bike club's supposed to be parking cars at the racetrack so we park cars on big events because when they get more cars, they think that people can't park like they should, which I probably shouldn't say this, but I kind of disagree. People can figure it out. It's really not that.
No, there's a few jack wagons that would mess up 2 whole rows probably.
That's true. I mean, we do the Cornish Fair, and I totally agree there, because if you didn't have order there, you would never, because it's, there's not a lot of parking. But I've never had issue. Like the racetrack already seems to figure it out. But so there's a few races they have us come in and park cars, and this Friday's one of them, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's going to be 97 degrees.
I saw that. Well, I didn't see the parking cars advertised, but I saw it advertised over by your coming off your property on the right there. I think there's a sign up next to the road.
I think I should know this because I typically do, but I think, was it a mod race? I know in July there's a Whalen modified race, which I want to go to.
Is that what's advertised? Is that why you're saying that?
That might be that one.
I'm conflating the 2 different events. That might be true.
Let me look so they actually know.
Am I kicking you now?
No, you're not kicking me. So yeah, I know Whalen modifieds are coming. They're end of July.
Well, maybe that's what it was.
Which I'm super, super excited about. So this weekend it is it's fireworks presented by Noise Rust Fireworks.
Yeah, I think I saw that because unless there's fireworks in July as well, or at the end of July.
I don't know. It's probably this one. So 73 lap street stock race, which is the Richard. He'll come to me. Richard Tatro Memorial, which is Joe's dad. He's done my shirts and stuff for me in the past. And then Nell Car Tour, Legends and Bandoleros. Why can I not speak today? Late models, mini stocks, 6 shooters, pure stocks, and 4-cylinder Enduro. Those are always fun. So, that is this Friday.
Yeah, it's going to be hot out there.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot. And then, I don't know if it has on here, at some point in July, not that it's super important, but they're going to do, the Whalen Modified Tour is going to be there, which will be really, really cool. So that's like the NASCAR Whalen Modified Tour. And, they've been there one other time. It's been a long time, though, so it'll be cool. So I'm a little bit like, it's going to be hot parking cars out in the field. It's going to be like car nuts, but hotter. Or not car nuts, wings and wheels, but hotter.
It's pretty hot at Wings and Wheels.
It was really hot.
It's nice in the shade for the few minutes we
I know. I never had that feeling before when you go and you're out in the hot sun and then walk into the shade, and it really did feel like AC. Normally it's not. So it had to be like a good 20-degree difference.
Yesterday when Tina and Rob came over to pick up the dogs, when Tina got out of the car, she's like, wow, she's like, your house, it feels like 5 or 7 degrees cooler than it did in New London. So I'm like, well, that's what Joe Branch, he would always say when he plowed for us, not for us, but we paid him. He would always say, "Make sure you call." He said because sometimes you get worse weather or not as bad weather. He's like, because even though you're a little bit up higher,
Right.
So I told Tina that story, and she was like, "Yeah, whatever. It's just a little cooler here." She put a sweatshirt on.
It's all that liberal hot air over in London.
All that CO2 getting breathed through the masks that they wear walking down the street over there.
Yes. Well, it's coming in, and
that's true, by the way. You can drive through there and see people walking on the street with a mask on in 90-degree weather.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah, we should feel bad for them. Apparently, their lives are so important that.
I don't understand it. Like, did I send you that meme yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. How we convinced everybody that you can be non-symptomatic and be you need to go get tested, but people suddenly dying in their sleep at the age of 24 and younger, all of a sudden that's okay, that just happens.
That's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
You're normal,
but
yeah.
if you have no symptoms, you could be carrying it. Okay. Maybe.
Makes me wonder what kind of drugs these people are on.
It's the propaganda machine of the TV. I'm telling you, they projected fear onto a lot of people. Because even I was concerned at first, but then when you start you start reading the real stuff, real science.
Yes, the real science, the Swiss cheese. That's the real science. So, look, I have a picture of my garden I want to show. I'm going to put it on the camera. We got to get a picture. Well, people have seen your fence, but they haven't seen your garden. So we got to get a picture.
Once
for
I
Farmer
get it,
Fridays.
I got to finish weeding it, and then I'll. Did you see I have the wire stacked up next to it? So that's the 4-foot wire. So I'm wondering if I'm going to have to trim the top or if it'll look nice with it coming up a little bit over the edge of the railing.
I don't know, buddy, but it's giving me time to pull all those plants out of the ground. Time you get that wire up.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I only have me. At least you got some help.
I have Andrea.
Right, that's help. I have
That's true.
0 people helping me. Like, you helped me dig the holes and till it and everything else, but then I had to, like, redig. Not retill, but,
Toronto's not working. Want me to send him over?
I thought he was working. I thought he had a job.
Well, he did. He was let go because apparently the guy that he worked for is a cheap SOB who didn't like that. I don't know. So when Toronto's going to work, Toronto works. Like, that's what he does. Like, if you say be there at 8, he'll be there at 8.
He helped you break down the thing. I felt bad that you had me come over there because between the 2 boys, man, there was like nothing for me to do. And I was like, Tim must think I'm like a 8-year-old over here wandering around looking through. I was more impressed with the property that it was on.
Oh, I know.
That creek. Oh, yeah.
Then when your wife showed up, you're like, oh, phew. Damn, it's hot out here. Man.
I took your water bottle, poured it all over
Dumped
me.
it on yourself. You're like, whew.
Acted like I was working real hard.
Baby, look at that porch I tore off there myself. Tim was standing there watching. No. So he was working at, I don't know, the old Pharmacy Z place. I don't know. They sell antiques and stuff. So I think he was working, might not been quite 40 hours a week, but probably close. And the guy was paying him good money. But then he was like, apparently didn't realize that he wasn't selling enough to make it worth it for him. And then, I don't know, like he thought Adriano was going to go there for like 5 hours a day. I don't know. Because if you tell Adriano these are the hours, he'll be there for those, or whatever, Right. So apparently he didn't want to pay any more money, like whatever. So Adriano's doing whatever.
Well, that doesn't necessarily make him cheap. It just means business is down. And
No, Andrew says he's cheap. I don't even know him. Andrew knows him. He's like, he's a cheap guy. But whatever. It is what it is. But here's the thing. If you want a business like that to work, you have to have contacts. You have to sell online. Because I walked in there and it's really nice, but I'm like, dude, how are you making money to pay? Like, I'm a business owner, so I'm thinking, okay, if I'm paying you, and you're sitting here, and I'm paying rent, and I'm looking around, and prices weren't bad. And Elkhead for like $600, which is a steal. It is. It's a good deal. But if you're not busy, so if I'm looking at what I'm paying him, I'd have to sell that Elkhead every week, or whatever. So I could see it too, but it is what it is. So anyways, he's helping Alan today, paint or something, but if you need him help, I can send him over.
So I thought he was going to get a job in the medical field. Is he still looking?
No, I think he's changed his mind.
Has he?
Yeah, because he's not going to get vaccinated, so he said, screw it, then I'm not going to do it, which we tried telling him this back in the fall before I went through a whole year of school, but
Yeah.
the good news is my kids don't watch this show, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people don't realize that that's a deal breaker for more people than they, because, the media portrays it one way, but I know a lot of people that if push came to shove, I mentioned it the other day, that's the great thing about having states with their own laws and you don't have massive federal encroachment and power consolidated at the top, is we can move to a state where they don't care if you're vaccinated. They tell the federal government, thanks for your recommendation, but
pound sand, yeah.
So there's still hope.
There is.
If that's what his passion is. You know what I mean? It might mean he has to go and live on his own, get him an apartment, get a job, have that, because that's a good idea. It was a smart idea to have somebody else pay for college for you if you can.
Right, exactly. Find a place and then they'll send you to school. And I don't know.
Actually, it's the rates that Zeta was getting her transcript from the technical college, the Sugar River Valley Community College, not technical, community college, $20,000 a year for tuition for community college.
Well, UNH, I think, was like $32,000 or something like that.
No, New Hampshire has the most expensive college, or one of the most.
Yeah, we talked about. I think it was the third highest in the country.
Yeah.
Because I remember way back.
But community college, come on, like seriously, that's supposed to be for.
Yes,
like
it's cheap.
Me and you should be able to go if we want to take a class on something. Costs us a few $100, and we pay.
Right.
We learn something that will help us either in our social or professional lives.
So when I graduated in 2001, I went to Mount Wachusett in Mass, which is in Gardner, Mass. But they didn't have a campus, so I had to stay in Fitchburg, which kind of went all awry because I had to drive back and forth, and I had a '78 Ford truck. It just didn't work out. But so it was $7,000 a year for Wachusett. I think the housing was separate or something. I don't remember what it was, but they're like, hey, if you lived in Mass, it'd be like $2,300 a year. I was like, holy crap! It's so because in-state tuition it's cheaper. Not in New Hampshire.
No, New Hampshire's education system's really jacked up.
They don't care about education in New Hampshire. I mean,
top to bottom, bottom to top.
Right. We care about education. Individual people care about education. The state as a whole just doesn't give a crap because they don't fund it like they're supposed to, and then the in-state tuition cost is stupid.
That's something that most of us could probably get behind. All right, you're taking my taxes.
Right.
We're paying.
We're gonna.
I like not having an income tax.
Right.
But at the same time, once you give up an income tax, then they're just going to become a bunch of pet projects. So I'm not advocating adding an income tax. What I am advocating is
they've talked
doing more for the younger generation.
Right. They've talked about a sales tax, which, of course, New Hampshire's stance has always been, we don't want a sales tax because every state around us has one, so those people won't come here. And I'm like, yeah, they will. It's so be less than theirs. So do 5%, put it all towards education. Because the nice thing with sales taxes, it doesn't matter if you're on welfare, you're a drug dealer, you're rich, you're poor, you're whatever. Everybody pays taxes. Income tax is just another screw me and you.
That's thievery.
Yeah. I'm not
bondage and because
property tax is another criminal friggin' bunch of crap. Oh, you got a nice house? We're going to charge you more money
and you don't really own your property like that.
No, you just have a payment on it.
Right, you got a deed.
So why should you pay more for taxes than if you had a little trailer on the bottom? Well, it's worth more. Is it for sale? No. So then, how's it worth more? How's it anything?
Yeah, so. I noticed this once I got out of the military because I started working on our finances more because before it was mostly Nikki. She would get a raise and I'm like, oh, awesome, we're going to have some extra income this year. Then property taxes went up, homeowners insurance went up, and vehicle insurance went up. And it was almost like, well, we lost $150 even though you got a raise because it's like the whole system knew that, it's time for Nikki to get a raise. Let's jack everything up.
Like electric rates.
Like you can't, exactly. Like
kind
electric rates.
Double. So I thought about this.
I'm nervous about getting that next bill.
I know. Like I was,
especially with the air conditioning season, because I'm sure Zeta doesn't turn hers off when she leaves her room.
Probably not.
I've heard it going a few times when I was barbecuing. She wasn't home.
Yeah. Nice cool room, though, for a while.
Excuse me. That burp went through there. I apologize. I just chugged some McDonald's Coke.
It's all right. So, July, they're going to double the price of electricity. And,
Heating oil has doubled.
Yep.
Firewood's still the same while you can get it. I'm pretty sure they'll start regulating firewood more than they have some regulations on it.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then some of these people, like their student debt's so there's been a hiatus on their loans. Well, that hiatus is about to change. And it's like, how are these people supposed to pay it back?
Nikki's student loan debt is a very expensive car payment.
Yes.
A car payment and a half.
Right. But now think about gas is double, electricity is now going to double. Like,
yeah, I'm going to need probably have to sit out there and protect my garden. We're all going to need to eat, but I'll share if somebody needs some food, man. Just let me know. Come August, September.
I was talking to my friend yesterday. So I saw Johnny Depp. They're offering him like $301 million to be, next Pirates of the Caribbean. And I'm like, are you bleeping kidding me? $301
Well, they got to do that
million.
Because they fired him.
Well, they screwed him so hard. Yeah, exactly.
Because they didn't let justice take its course. And that's probably a lesson for all of us, not to jump to conclusions.
Yeah. And then she's like, think any of them would just pay my student debt for me so I didn't have to worry about that? And I'm like, no, $301 million. They need it. It's important. But that's worth $301 million. But that teacher's not worth,
Chief has raved about Top Gun, too. So I trust that that's a good movie because it's not just Chief, but it's like...
No one got $301 million to play there.
No, but you watch some of these other movies because some of them now are available on Peacock or Paramount Plus. So while they're at the theaters, if you have those subscription services, you can watch them.
Yep.
They're not that well made anymore.
No. Movies aren't like these. I like watching movies from the 90s.
Yeah.
Which maybe it's just because
I grew up in the 90s. But you of your childhood and you laughed at it.
I like a lot of it. I like Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon's good.
My mom loved those, and I just love watching them. It's just
I like the first two. The third, it was almost like it was becoming.
It kind of loses its. But usually, once the first one comes out, making a sequel is very hard. But they did good on that, and there was 4 of them, and it was good. I'd like anytime I'd watch them because it's different. I don't know what it is about it. It's just something.
Well, last year, one of my favorite shows, it was a new show. It's called Only Murders in the Building. It's about a podcast. It's written by Steve Martin. And the season 2 came out yesterday. And so last night I watched the first 2 episodes. And then they're going to release them on Tuesdays. Going away from the streaming service of Binge Watch. They've been doing that for the last year. But anyway, it's like they went woke all of a sudden. And it's...
Go woke, go broke.
But, the writing was so good in season 1. And then season 2, I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm already I could see what was happening. It was just creepy. I don't know. Just disappointing.
Yeah, I've had TV shows that way that loved them. And then all of a sudden it was like, what did you do?
Yeah, they changed the formula.
What did you do here? I don't know. They just, I love Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad was good till the end, I would say, but then they're going to come out with something else, and I watched Better Call Saul for a little bit, but it wasn't the same. Supposedly it got a lot better, but I was trying to think what the other one was. Dexter was one of my favorite shows, and they ended it abruptly, and I'm it's such a good show.
Didn't they bring it back?
They did. They brought it back, and I never did watch it, but someone said it was just not the same. It was horrible, but I don't know.
I've been trying to watch a few different things just to see, and that's all garbage.
Yeah. Luckily, I've been watching the Red Sox. They blew the lead last night and lost the game. It was 4-5. They were up in the 9th inning. Blue Jays score 2 runs, win the game. And the pitching is it's the pitching.
You need old Keith Folk to come out of retirement?
Yeah.
I only say that because he's from my hometown. So
Keith Fogel's, yeah. Yeah, they blew it. I was like, come on, are you kidding me? But they've had a lot of games in the 9th that me and her uncle would sit there and watch, and like he's get out, like he watches baseball more than me, and he's like, they're gonna blow it. I'm telling you, they're gonna blow it. And luckily they pulled it out. But last night, yeah, they blew it last night.
It's a classic Astros move back in the day.
Yeah,
even when we had Brad Lidge, one of the best closers in the league, and then the 27-year-old, also known as, I thought he was about 35, Pujols at the time. You know, I don't know if about his age or whatever, but anyway, Pujols knocked the skin off a ball in one of the playoff games, and it just like, it was soul crushing for the town and for that pitcher. Brad Lidge got his autograph. I didn't. Big Al did. Bumped into him at the Museum of Natural Science.
Nice.
During that series.
During the series, yeah. So
that's kind of cool. So Zeta got to meet him, but she was young.
It's funny. There's just one guy on the Blue Jays. He's like fluffy. He's like big, and I looked it up, and
almost like that one pitcher that New York used to have. That guy was.
Oh yeah. I can't remember his name now.
He just retired like a year ago.
Yeah,
he was like 49 or whatever. He was old.
Really good. Yeah. But I looked it up, and he's 5'8", which is my height, 265, which is what I used to be, but he's a catcher, so he's not as active. But I was surprised. He's from Mexico though, which you don't see a lot of Mexican players. A lot of Dominican, Cuban. You know, there's more of them than there are just regular American players on the But yeah, I thought it was because I hadn't seen a guy that. It's probably because he's so short too, compared to a lot of them, that he looks just bigger. I'm like, man, that dude. You would think you're professional playing like that, you would be very much physically fit. And I mean, I'm sure just to a degree he is, but I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, he could probably outrun us on a 5K.
Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah, if he's a professional athlete,
I would hope
he could.
Yeah. They have one guy that's been on the Red Sox on top. They're playing in first base. He took over for somebody, and that dude's fast. If he puts a bunt down, there's this 90% chance he's going to make it.
I like watching a player that hustles.
Yeah.
I can't,
hustles.
I've seen, it happens every once in a while, but they'll hit a dribbler or something, and they'll just
they watch the ball. And
watch it, and they kind of jog, walk, like you're pretending at the intersection when cars are coming, you pretend like you're running, but you're really just walking. And then, they overthrow the ball or something, and it's you could have been safe if you would have hustled. Now, there have been a few players that hustled. I can't remember his name, but he played for the Astros. That dude hustled on every play.
Yeah, this guy.
He ended up going to San Francisco.
This guy hustles.
But I like watching a player that hustles because you're at that level. Because, I told the story 3 or 4 weeks ago about AI being the face of the NBA. And whenever people aren't hustling, that's what I think of, because we were always taught when I played, run out everything as if you have a chance of being safe.
Right. Because you never know.
You never know.
They might bomb it.
And I got it. They're playing the laws of averages. These are professional players, and they're like, yeah, he should be able to throw me out. However, those 1 or 2 times that you hustle and you are safe, that might change the game.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I just call me old school, and I'm sure there's somebody that'll tell you that I got all kinds of issues with my expectations. But if you're a professional, you need to be hustling. You're getting paid $301 million. You better be the best pirate that's ever existed on screen. You know what I mean? You should be winning all kinds of awards, not because you paid for the awards, but because this guy needs to be on the screen, which they need to include him for the movie to be successful, because who's going to go see Pirates of the Caribbean without
it's totally
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Exactly. It's
he's the whole franchise. So I get it. They have to try to make up for them firing him based off of
They're probably trying to
the media.
They probably figure we'll give him enough money now, he won't sue us for this past thing. Exactly.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe this is what we'll do. We'll just listen. Because
he could have probably a suit for them.
Yes,
firing him without just cause because of an accusation.
Just because of an accusation, yeah.
I have a friend going through that in the military. had accusations by the police that were all dropped because the police were not doing their job properly, and the military's moving forward with it. Well, you shouldn't have been in a situation where they could even, like, oh, come on, man. Like, things happen to everybody, no matter what you do. You and I could be doing everything properly, and then 1 second mistake, and you can't overlook the fact that these cops were not correct, and they admitted that they weren't by dropping the charges.
Yeah.
Great soldier, too, by the way. The things that this soldier did for her country and her units.
Keep in mind, they want to get rid of all the good soldiers because, we want to have the woke army. Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck for us. We're screwed. But anyways, so position of the day for the school. As soon as the show's done, I'll look up and they'll probably put today's on. So this is yesterday's, but it's not my fault. Yeah, it's not my fault. They're not updating it soon enough, but I think it's a pretty clever little thing they're doing. But they're looking for middle school science teacher, 8th grade. I think it's kind of cool, like position of the day, and then it's like join our team, and it's pretty neat. So if you're good in science, you have a degree, and it doesn't have to be a teaching degree because they will work with you on that. You
got a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. You have to have a bachelor's degree.
With over, I think, 40 hours in science, if I recall. There's a certain threshold of...
Right. If you took a liberal arts degree, they probably don't want you as a science teacher.
Right.
Now, if you minored in science...
Yeah, if you minored in biology or astronomy, anything that they can...
Yeah. So that's today's position of the day. And ours are, there's a lot of other positions as the day goes on. As the days go on, we'll put them out as long as they keep putting them out. And they still need a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hiring some people too. I mean, at least from the emails I'm getting, it seems as if we are. Now, sometimes
I sure hope so.
They fall through because somebody else might offer them a little bit more, whatever, or things change. But for the most part, you get some emails where they're making some hires.
Good.
So spread the word. If you got friends and family that want to come to a small town, good things are on the horizon.
Yes. So I saw this other thing. It's very interesting because it's wanted book donations, and it's the richest free library. And I'm like, the library has lots of books.
Why they always end up giving them away, don't they?
Yeah.
At the
So this
Apple
is
Fair.
We are now accepting donations for our book sale, and all the benefits for the rich free library. A 2-box limit. So if you have 30 boxes of books, they like 2. No textbooks or encyclopedias, please. And that's going to be for the Short Apple Pie Festival, and they'll sell books, and it all benefits them. So yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I also saw, so next Sunday, July 17th, from 11 to 2, Black Ash Basket Weaving, and it's at the Sullivan County Complex in Unity. So black ash must be a tree, and you can learn to basket weave, I guess. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And as always, Farmers Market Fridays 3 to 6, and this Sunday's concert on the Common from 6 to 8 is cruising. I actually got that little pink schedule at Casella yesterday when I dumped the dump trailer. Of course, I think I left it in the truck, but now I'm pretty confident.
You dumped the dump trailer?
I dumped the dump trailer.
You still have it, or?
Of course I still have it.
I have like a lot of stuff I need to dump in your dump trailer.
It's down on Belknap.
I don't know where Belknap is.
I can tell you after.
Oh, it's over by the community center.
Sure.
Or
we'll leave it at that. I don't need people showing up and dumping trash in the dump trailer.
I wouldn't do that.
You can. Then I don't have to hear about it. You'd be like, oh, yeah, dumped it in there.
It'll look nicer.
It's not even that much.
Guests walk into the studio since.
Yeah, it's not that much.
I know. I could probably fit it in the back of the SUV and take it to Casella myself.
No, I don't do that because it's $85.
Yeah. Well, there's like a certain day though that.
Yeah, there is actually. Thursday or something.
Yeah, I think it's Thursdays.
Yeah.
And then they do it by weight versus by bag.
So I went there yesterday, and so my brother had went there before, and he's like, "Oh man, Casella's like the building's like half full." I'm like, "Well, like what's going on?" Because I plan on heading over there, and so I went over there and dumped it, and he's like, "Yeah, we're out of the trailers; they're all full." and waiting for drivers to bring them to wherever they go, and then bring them back empty. And we can't get any drivers till tomorrow, or can't get any trailers till tomorrow, or something. I'm like, man, that's going to give you a busy morning, because he had it piled high. Like, and I was like, man, you're going to be busy tomorrow. And he said, that's not bad. Once you get the trailers, he can smoke them out pretty quick. But I was like,
well, I know on Saturday mornings you can take your recycles for free. At least you could back in the day, because when we moved in, they didn't come pick up our boxes like they're contractually required to do. So I rented or maybe it was from Lowe's or Home Depot. Home Depot. You run out of time here? You don't want to hear my story?
No, I thought I had a bug on me. Oh. It's all good. Keep going.
You look like you look at your watch. Like,
I have a
speed
watch.
It up over there, story guy.
No, it's all good.
Anyway, I went and dumped an entire Home Depot truck full of cardboard boxes. I don't think they want you to bring that much. Like, the guy was very helpful and let me, just because I think I was new and didn't really know what I was doing.
Maybe.
Anyway, if you have recyclables and you don't have a way to get rid of them, you can take them on Saturday mornings.
And don't throw them out on the side of the road. Yeah. Twisted tea drinkers.
Twisted teas.
That's never going to die. July 9th, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, $12 for the chicken barbecue that the Goshen Fire Department's doing. Pre-buy, though. Reach out to someone there. And then we'll mention this again, but July 3rd through 5th, don't buy any gas. Buy it before and buy it after. To send a message to these corrupt SOBs that we're going to keep buying your gas after the 5th anyways.
Yeah, we'll be back in 3 days, but just so you know, we have some purchasing power as long as we don't go anywhere and we seclude ourselves at home.
Yeah, All right, meme of the day, and this one's funny. Here's a comprehensive list of everything that you're entitled to and what the world owes you. It's a big old goose egg. That's what you're entitled to.
I agree with that.
Yep, I know you would. Work for it or don't, So then I saw this. It wasn't a meme. It was like it was a Twitter tweet and someone shared it. But so now
was it a Twitter tweet or a tweet?
Twittery tweet. A tweeted. I don't know. I don't do Twitter, so I'm not sure. Someone on Facebook shared it. So apparently the FCC commissioner calls Apple and Google to ban TikTok. Commissioner says TikTok harvests swaths of sensitive data that new reports show are being accessed in Beijing. I want to go.
They've been saying that for like 3 years.
Listen,
now.
I want to go back. Okay, let's take a little time travel. When Trump said we need to ban TikTok because it's a security risk to the country, and everyone was like,
"It's owned by China."
It's owned by China, and he tried to ban it, and then some American company or something, they made it still work. I just want to put that out there. So there you go. And remember, you kids are all on TikTok. This is what happens.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of TikTok.
No, I mean, I think the concept was okay originally, but it used to be Musical.ly, because my daughter had it way back, and then it became TikTok, which kind of took over YouTube in a way, because people watch videos used to be on YouTube, now you watch them like on TikTok, whatever. And I don't know.
Did I ever tell you the story about why I'm not on Facebook?
No.
I was on it longer than I needed to be because of my position, and it was important to my boss or whatever that we try to have social media. But before that, a year or two before that, before I got off of, I just deleted it. A guy that I knew from the military, who was a military intelligence officer, all he said to me was, if you're on Facebook, you need to be off of it. Don't have a Facebook. Don't let your kids have Facebook. And that's what bothered me when we got here to Newport is they communicated via Facebook Messenger, or they had like a team room for the team, and I don't really care for that because now you're forcing these kids to be on the social media platform that not all kids should probably be on. Because, I mean, if you watched Nickelodeon or Disney TV with your kids, they put public service announcements on there, like keep your kids off of social media. You know what I mean? Like they tell you to do it, and then people are still like, oh, they can pretend that they're older than 13 or whatever. And
speaking of a public service announcement,
yes,
I just saw this thing that they're taking Elmo and using Elmo to push vaccines.
I saw the actual
5
tweet.
and under.
There was like a tweet. It was Elmo's dad went and did his research, and he says it's okay. So it's okay to have questions, but at the end of the day, Elmo's dad says it's okay, so you can get a vaccine.
You're a sick mother.
That's basically. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's basically what it says.
Yeah. If you're like, they have no shame. They have no moral. They have nothing. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like now it's totally different. They probably don't have. I don't know because I don't have TV anymore. I have internet, but yeah. His recommendation, and I respected him, and that's all he needed to say to me, and so it never left my mind. And then once I realized that the whole social media thing is just it's garbage, regardless.
So it's got to a point where
I deleted it all.
You're gonna have to tell your kids that Elmo has a hand up his ass running in his mouth, and he's speaking out of it, and that it's some Muppet behind him talking.
Yeah, well, all kids should know that. I don't think Zeta ever watched Sesame Street because it was already woke when 18 years ago, whatever. I watched an episode and I was like, what is this garbage?
What part of leave our freaking kids alone don't you get? Stop pushing your crap on my kids. Just, you're going to watch Mickey Mouse?
It's not even crap. Let's stop pushing your ideologies.
Any of it. Your sexual sexuality, or any of it. Stop. They're kids. Let them be kids.
Yeah.
But wait, you're trying to divide the kids from the parents so that, it's a whole game. I'm sick of playing the game.
Divided when we all should be like, nah.
Yeah, I don't think Elmo should be talking about this.
We're all Newportonians,
like
Newportites.
Your 5-year-old can't make the decision to get a vaccine, so why are we trying to push it on your kid? Oh, Mom, I gotta go. Yeah.
Well,
when are we going to put it on cereal boxes?
What adult looks at that and is like, oh, well, if Elmo's dad looked it up, it's good. Sesame Street saying it's good. I'm sure there's a few people out there that are like, they wouldn't put this out there if it was bad for your kid. And
some moron that can't think for themselves.
There's probably a few of them out there, but
of course there is. But
I looked at that and I was like, propaganda much? Because if you remember, I don't know, I have this weird memory. So 10 or 15 years ago. Maybe less, maybe even still going on. But I remember seeing articles about how in like Palestine or somewhere they had their version of either Mickey Mouse or Sesame Street, where it's basically teaching kids to go blow up stuff. And we're like, who would ever do that? Like, that's such propaganda. Exactly. And now it's not the same in the sense of teaching these kids to go be jihadists, but it's also, it's just as bad. Like the propaganda. Like, Elmo should be teaching you the ABCs and how to pronounce. That's what it was for back when. Right. That's what I remember from it when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's what it was about.
I remember Oscar was grouchy. It was always special to see Snuffleupagus. Big Bird was kind of goofy, but like the star of the show. Count taught you how to count. The two little weirdos taught you how to combine words to enunciate and pronounce them, which obviously didn't wear off on me because of my slow Southern accent, or Texas accent. I don't even think it's Southern.
No, maybe Texas.
Like, you got to go to like South Carolina. That's where you hear a real Southern accent. South Carolina, Georgia.
It's funny though, because some of them
you can spot them.
You can barely even understand what they say, and others it's weird. It's very strange.
It's like watching a British show. You got to turn the subtitles on, and after like 20 minutes, your brain acclimates to the way that their cadence and their pronunciations are. Or for me, anyway, that's how it works. But I'm also going deaf, so I keep the subtitles on. I remember I used to be annoyed that my dad would have that.
God, I draw on just all the time. It irritates me so bad.
You don't like having them on?
No.
The problem is if you'll just sit there and read it, and you're not actually watching what's going on the screen.
Right. Or it just distracts me. I'm like, I can hear what they're saying. Like, I don't know.
Hey, when you need it, you'll be like, I don't even notice it anymore.
It's hard, like, sometimes we'll watch like Narcos or whatever, which some of it would be in Spanish and there's subtitles. So now I'm trying to read it because I can't, I wasn't sure what they said. And yeah. So the January 6th sham hearings.
Their surprise witness that they interviewed a month ago behind closed doors.
Yeah, the surprise witness. But now, wrong button, this one. Now there's a Secret Service agent and a former White House official that is willing to testify that false claims were made during the hearing about Trump, which doesn't surprise me because it's it's a sham when there's no other. It's just one side. They don't show you the other side, so it's not defense, prosecutor, anything like that. And there's no. It's not. It's a sham. We need to get votes come November. Trump's a bad person. We need to try to ban him from running again. Which, whatever. I don't care if Trump runs again or not. It's not the point. The point is this is a freaking sham, waste of our money, and they don't care. There's other things they could be focusing on, like
southern border.
The southern border, where now 50 people are dead in that truck.
50 or 51.
It might even be 51 now. Like, there was some children there too. I don't know if some children dead, but there was 4 children that went to the hospital. And
horrible.
Yeah, but let's not work on our southern border. Let's not focus on that. Let's worry about this. Let's worry about this because this is so important. They had like 140,000 hours of video or something, or I don't know.
How do they call it? I just don't understand how they call it an insurrection.
It's a sham. The whole thing's a sham. Let's not focus on that. Let's not focus on the border. Let's not focus on Uvalde. Let's not focus on any of that. We need to focus on this. So yeah, we have an agent in a former White House.
Violent uprising against an authority or government.
So walking in the building's violent. It was violent shooting Ashley Babbitt
stealing
throat.
Nancy Pelosi's laptop, that's violence? Or is that just thievery?
I'm just curious, why isn't she mentioned in this? Because she,
Did you see how the sergeant at arms passed away?
Yeah, mysteriously. He died. He was supposed to testify, and then Pelosi won't let the House one testify.
Because in one of the relief bills, they gave him $1 million.
Mm-mm.
It's in is it a TARP? I don't know what it was in, but it was in one of those bills, allegedly.
Nice.
I haven't read the actual bill, so that's why I'm saying allegedly, but I've seen it. And from my Substack trusted sources that I have, that they gave him $1 million, and it could have just been for upgrades and security, you know what I mean? But a little suspicious that he's mentioned by name in there.
Yeah. Now
allegedly.
He's dead. Now he's dead. It's almost like he had something on the Clintons.
I don't know about the Clintons, but he might have had
on Pelosi.
More.
Like, oh, hey, she told me to let this happen, or the video.
Well, I thought he had said that they had requested 6 times for the National Guard, or some number.
Do they try to blame Trump that Trump didn't do a good job on that? He can't call the National Guard in. That's the mayor's job, and the whole thing's a freaking sham.
So I watched what Trump had to say that day because I think I still had cable, so it was on, and I remember him saying peacefully. He used the word peaceful quite a few times.
Yeah. And then I also remember a video of a guy going over to the Capitol Police saying, "What are you doing? Why aren't you doing your job? Why aren't you stopping them?" And they just stood there and looked at him and did nothing. Huh.
Isn't it weird?
Isn't it weird?
Like, I
look over here. What's happening over here?
So, like, those individuals, like that guy, they ask, like, hey, why aren't you stopping them? Like, what does he go home and tell his family and friends at night? Like, they'll let them walk by, and, it's a shame that this happened, but I got these orders that said to just let them do whatever. Well, why don't you tell somebody what your orders were?
Where did you get the orders from?
Pelosi? But you know what I mean? Like, these things, if they're true, right? So I always throw allegedly out there. But you've seen the video with that guy saying it, right? Like, why aren't you stopping this? It's on video. Yeah. I don't understand. Like, if I do something wrong, my mom and dad are going to scold me, and even at this age, they're going to be like, I'm disappointed in you, son. Like, that's not how you act. You need to make things right.
It's because you have morals and values, and most people nowadays don't.
Like, I feel bad when I do something that negatively impacts somebody because either I wasn't well-informed or I just was lazy and made a bad decision, whatever. Or, I don't know. I try to do the right thing. Doesn't always work out. We talked about it before we came on the air. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Own up to them. Be truthful.
So I wonder how many millions that whole shame freaking...
I don't know. Same thing as the Mueller investigation?
Yeah.
Is that like 40 million or...
Yeah. Then they totally proved the whole disinformation thing, and it was a whole Clinton machine set up. Nothing ever happens there, though.
Which is weird, because I had read about that like 2 years before he came to that conclusion, or a year before. It was like all that was laid out if you just looked for it.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can have...
But your television didn't tell you that, so...
Right, you can have people... Certain people can be dead to rights, like, you got them. It don't matter. Don't matter. She goes down, they'll all go down, because she knows everything. Corruption, unbelievable. This isn't CNN, but CNN headline quote, as you said, or headline story like you were telling me before. And I'm like, no. So anyways, Howard Stern calls Clarence Thomas Darth Vader and says he'll run for president and add Supreme Court justices to restore Roe versus Wade. Howard Stern is a dumbass.
Howard Stern is a shock jock, man.
Yeah, I used to like him back like in the day a little bit. He was on America's Got Talent, you know. Now he's just a freaking jackass. He really is. He's a moron.
He's got a soapbox, and he...
Exactly. He's washed up.
I mean, he's lived in a life that can't relate to the rest of us.
No.
That's why when like anybody who is a established actor, politician, whatever they try to talk about stuff about me and you and anybody else out there that's listening to this show, they have no clue what we go through on a daily basis.
No clue.
Like those late night comedians, well, just go get you an electric car. Okay.
Yeah, let's go with
And then who's going to pay my electric bill?
My electric bill's doubled.
The charger. Now, some other cars may come with that as a part of the package. But
someone's like, oh, go get solar. So then I saw someone literally on Facebook the other day said, yeah, my parents did that. It was $90,000. They'll get their money back in like 35 years. But during the 35 years, they have to replace like batteries or something twice and all this. It's not. It's a complete sham.
Yeah, there's... The technology, at least the way that it's been released to us, is not there to...
Right.
They're jumping ahead. They're trying to establish the Green New Deal without having a transition in place.
Yeah, because people are trying to establish it.
You find a cheaper way to produce electricity or a more efficient way, and as you do that, which we know solar is not that, wind is not that, then you transition. You're like, hey, this is what we want to do. We have the technology now. We have all this stuff available. We've been able to bring down prices. Just like, remember when LED TVs came out? It's like $32,000 for a 30-inch LED TV. And then within 5 years, people are throwing them out and buying new ones at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you need to get, if you want us to go to green energy, it needs to be like where we toss out the batteries because they're environmentally safe, or we don't even have to have batteries. We can...
Right. The whole thing's a sham. Brought to you by people that never built a damn thing in their life. Never built anything.
Be like me giving you business advice.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to do it because now I might ask you questions.
I swear to God, these people can't wipe their own ass. Like...
No, they're... Yeah. I've met some nice people. I met Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler.
He's the
yoga guy because he broke his back or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a very positive guy. At least that was the persona he gave off on like the 30 hours he was with us in Iraq or whatever. But like, very nice guy. Met a bunch of comedians. It's exactly what you would expect, even in a horrible war zone. They're doing those USO tours. They just sit there and rip on each other and work on new comedy. Like, I can relate with people like that. And then you get people that come in and like, I want this, and this. And it's like, well, who are you, dude? You're in a war zone. Like, you're nobody here.
You should be like, yeah, we'll get you that. We're going to take a little trip down to the grocery store. Let's go for a ride.
Yeah. I don't know. I've interacted with some of these people.
Outer touch morons.
Some of them are. Robin Williams, I did not interact with him because I transferred those duties off to my buddy Rick. He said he was a great guy.
See, I love Robin Williams.
It was like the best experience of his life. I'm like, I'm glad I gave up the morale and welfare.
Should not have gave that one up. That guy, like...
It was exhausting, dude. Like,
yeah.
I put on the 50 Cent concert, available to watch on BET, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you'll see me there, but I was like the officer in charge, so I got all the blame whenever their plane was delayed. They were angry because some highfalutin person was going to pay him ungodly amounts of money to walk through a club. Like they were getting just an appearance fee, and because of actions on the airfield, they were unable to leave on time, and so they were ticked off.
Steve's fault.
Well, that's what the USO lady said after she got off the plane and said, "Who's in charge?" I was like, "I am." She's like, "Not anymore." And then when they got mad, she's like, "He's in charge." I was like, "What the heck, lady?" We took care of him though. We worked it all out. Once she ceded power back over to me, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was one of those things where you're like, "What am I in a bad scripted movie?" Could you imagine that? Who's in charge? I am. Not anymore. And then when they got mad, he's in charge. Talk to him. That's what she said. I
don't know how you did it.
I don't either. Like that's why I have no qualms about being retired. That was like, by the way, that was like 5 hours of my 19-hour to 20-hour day. You know what I mean? I still actually had like
work to do,
war army stuff to do besides the
concert
and the morale and welfare. Anyway.
So, Ghislaine Maxwell gets 20 years in her role with Jeffrey Epstein sex crimes.
Are they going to release that client list? Was that part of her 20-year sentencing since she didn't get the full 50 or whatever it was?
65 originally, yeah. I don't know. So, I bet you she's feeling suicidal now. Or
I don't understand. So, most of the people that would come up and say, "Hey, watch a show, enjoy it," they probably agree with us. Like that client list needs to be out there.
Yeah.
I would think that like 90 whatever % of all Americans should want to know who that client list is, so that we know exactly who we're dealing with.
Problem is, it would be 75% of the government, 75% of Hollywood. Those are just rough numbers, of course.
You think? You pulled out 75%? I like that.
Old Bill Gates would be going down.
I mean, there used to be going around, and it could have all been made up, but there used to be flight logs where you can figure out who's who.
I said that to my friend yesterday. I was like, you know what? You think that friggin' creepy nerd Bill Gates could get anything if it wasn't for Epstein's Island?
No, there's people out there that don't have morals and values that are attracted to money.
Yeah, or like hooked on drugs. They're looking for the next fix, and they'll be like, yeah, okay.
I never understand that. So you watch a movie and you see these powerful men, because it's usually men. Like, I'm not trying to discount that it can't happen for women, but in the movies anyway, it's always men, and they have like this harem of girls, and it's like, don't y'all have any self-respect? Are you in a bad situation? Are you held captive and prisoner?
That's pretty much what this stuff is, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
right.
It's sad.
I will start trusting the government again once these people start going to jail, and the Clintons go to jail, and all these people go to jail.
Yeah, once somebody's held to account for their...
Yeah, because she's now in jail for 20 years for trafficking to...
Who?
Herself? Or did Jeffrey do it all?
Just to the prince over there? And
yeah, just the prince, Andrew. Just him. Just Andrew. And, that's it.
It's crazy.
Jeffrey and Bill Clinton were best friends. Wow.
If you look at some of the things that Epstein was involved with, it's scary.
Yeah. I've watched. So I read.
It's almost like Island of Dr. Moreau type stuff.
Yeah. I watched pretty much every
like documentary
or whatever's come out about him. I read James Patterson's book about him before
he was
even
like
arrested.
Harvard scientists that are looking into like some awesome, crazy things. But he was like connected to them.
He was connected to everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody.
It's crazy.
No one really even knows how he got his money per se, but he just...
Well, he started off teaching in a private school. And
he just, it's too bad because
he met the owner of Victoria's Secret.
He just could have... he could have done so many positive, huge things. He just didn't go down that path. Like, you're at that crossroad in your life, and, it steered him this way. If he went the other way, he probably could have been extremely successful in a positive way because he was extremely good at manipulating people and whatever. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The world might be a different place if he had been born a better moral character.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's getting 20 years. for trafficking to Woody. The HHS secretary, so Health and Human Services expert Xavier Becerra said on Tuesday that the Biden administration is considering using taxpayer money to help women receive abortions. I'm like, wait, what? So if you live in a state, well, first of all, he did say, well, I do have to see if it's legal first, but the whole idea is like we're looking to use taxpayer dollars for transportation. So if you lived in a state, you couldn't get one. And like I said, I don't care. You live in a state, you can't get one, you go to some other state, that's fine. But it's not my freaking problem. It's your problem. It's not my taxpayers' money. So once again,
it is your taxpayer dollar that's going to
now, yeah. But this is the stuff that pisses people off. We work harder. They rob you blind with taxes, and then, well, we're going to give it for this.
I don't understand why the federal government's involved in as many things as it is. Like, it should be protecting our borders and solving disputes between the states.
Yeah.
So, like, if the woman in Missouri goes to a different state and then they arrest her when she comes back to Missouri, then I could see the U.S. government get involved in that. Because
like
now you got a conflict between states. So you want to try to keep the peace and be like, all right, well.
Right. It's still the United States, so.
So you need to.
Exactly.
Calm down a little bit. Like, that's what it's supposed to be doing, in my eyes, the way that I understand constitutional republic as it's written.
Right. No, it micromanages everything, and we allowed it to get this big. And
yeah, we did. It's our own fault for having barbecues every weekend, not going to meetings, not being involved at the local, state level, and then letting them allow businesses to lobby and to act as individual taxpayer, or whatever the verbiage is from 10 or 15 years ago. They allowed businesses to act as private citizens.
Right. We don't hold them accountable like private citizens.
No.
No. So here's a list of...
While they're not paying taxes.
Yeah. Because
they have all kinds of tax breaks and benefits.
Yeah, like Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. And then Bezos is,
Well, when you say any, I would say for the most part it doesn't pay taxes. Relatively speaking, they pay no taxes compared to the amount that I pay.
Yeah, percentage-wise, they don't pay crap. But then New York, that was one thing New York did do that was good, was at one point everyone's always going to go to New York or whatever, and they pretty much said, no, we don't need you. Well, we're going to bring all these...
That was AOC that led the charge, and there were a lot of people angry at her because it stopped jobs from coming in.
However, they wouldn't have paid any taxes to them, and it would just burden them, they said. So it was like...
Well, the taxes would have been paid by the people they hired.
Right, yeah. But those people would have worked somewhere else anyway, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. They would have brought in people from out of state, maybe, probably.
Where New York would... Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. But big companies like that.
I mean, people are speaking with their feet because you can look and see the negative outflow of, registered New York citizens, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, yeah.
They're all leaving.
We had a story about that.
Pastures.
Yeah, New York, California, mass exodus of people. It's in states like Florida are gaining people. Wonder why. Because that horrible man, Ron DeSantis down there. Oh, my goodness. What a horrible, horrible man. The Dems won't even spend any money to run against him because they know they can't win. All right, so this is the last thing. There's companies covering employee travel expenses on abortions. Paramount, Citibank, what is this? Condé Nast
or something?
I don't know. Dick's Sporting Goods, Disney, Levi.
So let's go back to Dick's. So Dick's stopped selling weapons.
Yeah.
Under the guise of protecting kids.
Yeah.
So now they're not going to protect babies. They're going to pay, whatever the costs are. I find, I'm not taking a stand one way or the other. I'm just saying that's pretty hypocritical of Dick's.
Yeah. No, I have a point at the end of this. So,
okay.
Alaskan Airlines, Warner, Yelp, Nike, Salesforce, Lyft, JP Morgan, Uber, BuzzFeed, Intuit, Meta / Facebook, Microsoft. And so my point is on this, it has nothing to do with abortions, is these people, these companies, and this was like the day after it came out, so they're probably more now, are willing to pay for you to go to another state to get an abortion.
Well, it keeps you in the workforce.
But they're not willing to donate to like needy families, or what else are they going to do for you?
They could send me $4,000 to cover my heating oil costs this winter. Or their own employees.
They could pay their employees more money.
Yeah.
So tell you what, we're going to pay you more. All right, so you're a male, and obviously you wouldn't have an abortion because I'm a male, because men can't get pregnant in the real world. In their little fantasy world, men can get pregnant. But so where's my $4,000? Sorry, isn't that discrimination? Seems like discrimination to me.
It's like if your medical insurance covers cancer and somebody gets cancer, you don't. I mean, they still get that benefit. But then again, it's not an extra benefit, right? If you got cancer, you would be able to apply for...
But anyone can get cancer. Not everybody can get pregnant.
That's true.
I don't know. The point is, so you want to make a stance, and why don't you pay your employees more? Why don't you give them free health care or something like that? Which they won't do, but they want to go woke, and everyone be like, oh, they're so great. Let's go to Dick's because...
I don't understand why they're still doing that, because maybe it's not making a difference, but I feel like a lot of people...
I think it gets hurt Disney.
Like, I don't buy Coke or cola.
No, you buy
cola soda.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really don't. But I just wanted to share that little thing. Like I said, I don't care about the abortion part of it. That's not the point of it.
People can speak with their wallets.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't go there. Don't.
I canceled Netflix with that whole show Cuties offended me.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to cancel. Is it Discovery? Well, maybe it's just on Discovery Plus, but Discovery or whatever, they have like all the freaking channels I watch, like ID channel and stuff, and they've got these new like kid drag queen thing. Like this.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like
I think I have Discovery Plus for Nikki to watch the ID, so she can figure out how to get rid of me and not get caught.
Figure it out.
But I'll cancel that now.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me. I'll look that up, and I'm not going to give my money. That's just.
Yeah. No, it's. Yeah.
I wouldn't want you taking an 8-year-old male child to a strip club. I would think that you were a bad parent and you got some issues, and maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should go through some classes to figure out how and what's appropriate.
Right. Like I said, once you're 18, I don't care what you do. You want to.
Zeta couldn't buy matches one time. Like we were doing a bonfire, not a bonfire. We just had a little fire pit.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure she could not buy matches, and she was like 16 or 17 because she was driving.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let her buy matches. But yet, I'm supposed to think she's mature enough to go. Like that's always my argument for everything is drop it all. Like you're gonna card me if I buy beer? Seriously? I'm almost 50, dude. Dudette. Like, you can't tell that I'm not 18.
Right.
Or 21. It
Right.
should be 18 if that's when we can join the military. I'm a fervent believer. If you're old enough to join the military, you can drink, you can buy a gun, you can do whatever. You can buy matches.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, like, most kids that are responsible can handle buying matches. Now, there are some kids out there, the parents should be like, don't ever let my kid buy matches.
Yeah, then.
But like, if you have a kid like that, why would you let them go to the store by themselves anyway?
Well, that's the problem. The kids that are going to, probably most of the kids that do that are the ones that don't have parents anyway. Is that?
Yeah, that's true. Just sitting around bored.
Yeah, that's usually where it starts. Is the lack of parenting, and where's your kid? I don't know. Like, there was a 6-year-old went missing in Claremont the other day. Like, was on his bike and didn't come back, and thank God he come back and he's safe. And I don't know nothing about the parents or anything, and nor do I care. My point is, in the concept of my mind, is like, why in the hell would you let your 6-year-old ride his bike away from your house at 6?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it only takes you to turn your head for like 1 second.
True. No, trust me, I get it.
I'm only saying because you say you don't know the whole story.
Got a 2-year-old, but
like it just takes like 1 second and that kid's gone.
From what I read online, which might not all be true, but it's basically he went for a bike ride, and it wasn't like he just left. Like,
yeah, 6-year-old, I would go bike riding, or I'd make sure he was with a group of kids. Like I used to always tell Zeta, when her and the neighborhood kids, because when we lived in St. Louis, it was 2 cul-de-sacs, little, insulated by itself. But we had a Sonic outside of it. We had a gas station. There was a Walgreens, outside the neighborhood. And so I always would tell all the kids, like, I don't care if y'all get in an argument or whatever else, don't let somebody sulk home by themselves or walk behind you or in front of you out of eyesight. You all stay together and act right, because there's safety in numbers. And
keep in mind yesterday the story we had of the pimp that had a 17-year-old that he said for a year that was sex trafficking her, and it's seriously that quick. And there's been numerous times in the last year I've heard about like a van by approaching a kid, like these things that it happens, and it happens here too. So it's like, don't be shielded by the fact, well, it's just Newport, New Hampshire, Claremont, New Hampshire, New Hampshire. Like, no, it just takes a second,
just 1 second.
Yeah, and you don't want to.
It's important, you stay together. Yeah. Eyes on, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the parent's not going,
right?
Because Zeta was 6, 7 when she would start walking around the neighborhood. And some of the kids were older, right? There was a age where some of them were a lot more.
I mean, I would see
and I trusted them too.
6 years old, okay, but their 12-year-old brother's going on a bike ride with them.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she had like 5th and 6th graders, because it was the whole little community, so it wasn't like they all stuck together. But
and thank God it
always concerned me, but I'd not always keep an eye out. I'd go on my deck so I could hear and watch, see where they were going.
And luckily,
make sure they said they were going where they were going to go.
Yeah,
because you got to build trust, right?
Right. No, it's
because they're kids.
You got to keep your eye on your kids, man.
Because kids can change their mind in an instant. Not like that they're lying or whatever, but it's like, oh, I hear the ice cream truck over, in the neighborhood behind us. We can walk through the woods and go get it. Well, no, you didn't ask to do that. So
I was worried about Michaela for years because I'm like, I'm telling you right now, someone comes up with a van with a puppy, she's gone, because she would go like the puppy, like she loves it scared the crap out of you because it's like you just knew, like even though you teach them and tell them, but it's like I almost wanted to set that up one day just to like show like how quick it would, and now she's 17 and she probably still go to the van with a puppy, but at least she's 17, she's smart enough to the van has a phone, but it's just like it only takes a second, man. That's it.
1 second. So I say that just in defense of the parents. I don't really know.
No, like I said, I don't know the situation, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to badmouth the parent. I'm just saying,
just thankful that the kid came back.
Yeah.
Safely.
Well, at the end of the day, Chief called and said he was going to be late because it was 2 4-year-olds that were missing in Goshen or something like that. I'm like, as a parent, that really gets you. Like,
yeah, because it just takes 1 second.
I'm like, don't apologize to me. That's way more important.
I mean, it could be the parents are making bad decisions, or it could be the parents like the phone rang and they turn to pick up their phone, and the next thing you know, they're out the door and gone.
I was at the land the other day with Adelina, who's 2, and I look behind me and she's gone, and I like scream, and she's standing next to me, and I'm in. Where could she really go? Not really far, but at the same time,
you got some holes out there that because you're digging and moving.
Yeah, you just never know, and it only takes a second. Like, yeah, watch your kids. All right, positive meme of the day. Decide what it is that you want. Write it down. Make a plan and work on it every single day. This is so true. No matter what it is, big, small, write it down. Say it all the time, and you can make it happen.
Zeta credits that with keeping her focused on school is because when she went to Catholic school, they all had to write their goals down and put it up on the board.
So you see
and then they felt shameful if they didn't meet their goal. They were like embarrassed if they didn't meet their goal because everybody tried to hold each other to account. So I think setting yourself goals, which is just kind of
setting goals,
what it is, and then focusing on it.
It could be the smallest goal. I don't want to, eat chips today. Anything. Focus on that, and you can do whatever you want to do. All right. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
We'll wrap it up, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.